11 a.m.
Welcome to our joint committee hearing of the House Committee on Water and Land and the House Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection. It is Tuesday, February 16th, 2021, 11 a.m., conference room 430. And we are here for the purposes of hearing three measures. Before we start, I'd like to let people know that in order to allow as many people to testify as possible, there'll be a 2-minute time limit per testifier. Because our morning hearings must adjourn prior to the noon floor session, not all testifiers may have the opportunity to testify. In that event, please know that your written testimony will be considered by the committee. Please keep yourself muted and your video off while waiting to testify and after your testimony is complete. The Zoom chat function will allow you to chat with the technical staff only. Please use the chat only for technical issues. If you are disconnected unexpectedly, you may attempt to rejoin the meeting. If disconnected while presenting testimony, you may be allowed to continue if time permits. Please note the House is not responsible for any bad internet connections on the testifier's end. In the event of a catastrophic network failure, it may be necessary to reschedule the hearing or schedule a meeting for decision-making. In that case, an appropriate notice will be posted. Please maintain decorum and refrain from profanity or uncivil behavior. Such behavior may be grounds for removal from the hearing without the ability to rejoin. Thank you very much. So let's proceed for our considering the first bill, House Bill 243, relating to sea level rise adaptation. We have testimony in support from Anu Hittel with the DLNR Climate Commission. Ms. Hittel, if you're online, the floor is yours.
Aloha, Chair Tarnas, Chair Lowen, committee members. Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
My name is Anu Hittel. I'm the coordinator for the Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission, and I'm testifying on its behalf in support of HB 243. I stand by my written testimony. The commission, established by Act 32, Session Laws 2017, to uphold the United States pledges under the Paris Agreement, is the coordinating body for policies on climate change mitigation and adaptation for the state. It is a high-level multi-jurisdictional body that guides the priorities of the state's climate response. It is co-chaired by DLNR and DBET's Office of Planning. It consists of 20 members, chairs of 4 legislative committees, and executive department heads at the county and state levels. And I welcome you, Chair Tanis, to the commission this year and look forward to working with you and continuing to work with you, Chair Lowen, on climate issues. Thank you for introducing this measure. The climate crisis is something that is already here, and all departments will have to deal with it if they haven't had to already. This measure is a first step towards that work that needs to be done to make Hawaii climate ready. It will help the commission provide the support to the departments, help facilitate and make it easier to provide a strategic response to climate action in Hawaii. I'm here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next, we have testimony and support from Kurt Otaguro, Department of Accounting and General Services. Mr. Otaguro, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Chairs, vice chairs, and members, Tony Benabise here, representing Kurt Otaguro. The Department of Accounting and General Services stands on their written testimony in support of this measure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have testimony and support from the League of Women Voters of Hawaii. Testimony and support from Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition, Mr. Dave Rainey. Please proceed. He's not here. So members, please refer to his written testimony in support. And we have written testimony and support from Sierra Club of Hawaii, from the Environmental Caucus, Democratic Party, and from 2 individuals, Lois Crozier and Robert Huber. That's all the testimony we have. Members in Water and Land, do you have any questions of our testifiers? Seeing none, I'll turn it over to you, Chair Lowen, to see if your members have any questions of the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Nope, no questions over here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next measure. House Bill 1008, relating to forest stewardship. On this measure, we have testimony in support from David Smith with DLNR. Mr. Smith, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Yeah, good morning, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. David Smith, I'm the administrator with the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. This is an administrative bill that we've been trying to get through for years. It's just making some small changes to make this very popular program more user-friendly and allow more participation by additional landowners. And we have written testimony, and we'll stand on that. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your good work. Next, we have also available for questions, Irene Sprecher with the DLNR Division of Forestry and Wildlife, along with David Smith. So they're both available for questions, members. And then finally, we have written testimony in support from the Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition. That's all the testimony we have before us, members. Any questions of our testifiers? Seeing none over here, I'll turn it over to you, Chair Lowen, to see if any of your members have questions.
Any questions, members? Nope, no questions over here.
Okay, thank you very much. And now let's go on to our final bill of the day, HB 1027, relating to marine life conservation districts. We have testimony in support from Brian Nielsen with DLNR Division of Aquatic Resources. Mr. Nielsen, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Aloha, Chair Tarnas, Chair Lowen, Brian Nielsen, Administrator of Division of Aquatic Resources. We stand on our written testimony in support. We've also provided some suggested amendments for the bill, being that we've heard some concerns by the ocean recreation tourism companies that this bill may impact their businesses. So we've tried to provide some amendment language to narrow the scope of the user fee. In addition, we've heard from other recreational tourism companies that would like to see that scope narrowed even further. The testimony hadn't been updated on the website yet to actually see if that had been submitted, but we do support the testimony providing amendments by Ocean Tourism Coalition, narrowing the scope to counties less than 500,000. That's very agreeable to us. And then we've also heard from Friends of Hanauma Bay that would like to see a little more assurance that the revenues collected from Hanauma Bay would be used appropriately and reinvested into the bay itself. And we're also very supportive of those amendments as well. And I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nielsen. Next, we have testimony in support from Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And we have testimony in support from Lisa Bishop with Friends of Hanauma Bay. Ms. Bishop, if you're available, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Aloha, Rep. Tarnas and Rep. Lowen and committee members. I'm Lisa Bishop, President of Friends of Hanauma Bay. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today in support, in qualified support of House Bill 1027. We have no objections to the establishment of this special fund for MLCDs. However, we are very concerned about ensuring that any revenues generated at Hanauma Bay are spent in accordance with the 2 federal court orders that rule the expenditures of Hanauma Bay money. So we would urge the committee and to adopt our amendments or amendment similar to what we suggested to ensure that Hanauma Bay revenues are spent legally. And we also thank DLNR for supporting our concerns and our testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bishop. Next, we have written testimony providing comments from Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition. We have testimony with comments from Denver Kuhn of the Ocean Tourism Coalition. Mr. Kuhn, if you're available, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Yes, morning, Chair Tarnas and Chair Lowen. We have spoke with DAR and we're in agreement of modifying the language. I think they've agreed with our language that has the public access is managed by a county with a population of 500,000 or more. So we're in agreement with that, and we stand by our testimony. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have testimony in opposition from Deborah Wallace and from Cynthia Kunihaule Kennedy. And finally, we have Mr. David Sakota from DLNR available for questions along with Mr. Nielsen. Okay, members, that's all the testimony we have before us. Do you have any questions of our testifiers? Representative Kobayashi, please proceed.
For DLNR and Lisa Bishop, I'm a little concerned about all of the monies generated by Hanauma Bay staying there, only because we have considerable track record that certain cash cow destinations help support the system. So for example, Diamond Head attracts over 1 million visitors during so-called normal years. And the revenues of Diamond Head do not stay just with Diamond Head, but are used to support the state park system statewide. That idea of, shall we say, sharing, I think is generally a good idea. Any comments?
Ms. Bishop, why don't you proceed first, and then we'll go to Mr. Nielsen.
Thank you, Representative Tarnas, and thank you, Representative Kobayashi, for your question. I agree with everything you just said, except that Hanauma Bay is different. There are 2 federal court rulings, 2002 from the Federal District Court that was upheld in 2004 by the Ninth Circuit of the United States that says that revenues, monies generated at Hanauma Bay must be spent at or directly for Hanauma Bay. So I would surmise that Diamond Head doesn't have any court rulings or court orders like that governing the expenditure of their funds. So that is why we want to make sure that if the state is able to receive a part of these funds, that they're spent legally in accordance with the 2 federal court orders. So no other MLCD has those kind of court orders governing the use of revenues generated at those MLCDs.
If I may ask to have Brian Nielsen respond. Go ahead, Mr. Nielsen.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Division of Aquatic Resources is hurting for funding to support, marine management throughout the state. But talking with the county and their issues and just trying to bring in enough revenue to pay for their needs at the park or at the Marine Reserve, Hanauma Marine Reserve or Natural Reserve. I don't know if it's appropriate to raise funds for other places as much as they're needed. I'm not sure that that's appropriate, and certainly sounds like Friends of Hanauma Bay would like the funds to be kept in the bay. So we're willing to stick with that history and mandate to keep all funds generated at Hanauma Bay to be reinvested in the bay itself.
Thank you. Any other questions, members? I'll turn it over to you, Rep. Lowen, if you have any questions from your members for the testifiers.
Thank you, members. Any questions? All right, we're good, Rep. Tarnas.
Thank you very much. And we'll recess and go into decision making. After consultation with the EEP Chair, Lowen, on my recommendations, let's turn our attention to the first bill, HB 243, My recommendation is to adopt the amendments from Anu Hittel with the Climate Change Commission in her testimony. Defect the effective date to continue discussions and make some technical non-substantive amendments. Those are my recommendations. Any discussion? Any questions, members? Seeing none, Vice Chair, please take the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass House Bill 243 with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Ganaden?
Aye.
Representative Kobayashi?
Aye.
Representative Kong?
Aye.
Representative Morikawa?
Aye.
Representative Ono? And Representative McDermott is excused. The measure passes.
Thank you. Over to you, Chair Lowen.
Thank you. And Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection, same recommendation. Members, any discussion? If not, Vice Chair, please take the vote.
Thank you. Chair recommends passing HB 243 with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair vote aye. Rep. Hashem is excused. Rep. Matayoshi. Rep. Peruso.
Aye.
Rep. Pod. Rep. Tokioka is excused. Rep. Matsumoto.
Matsumoto, aye.
Measure passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next measure, House Bill 1008 relating to forest stewardship. My recommendation is to defect the effective date and pass it as an HD1. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, Vice Chair, please take the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass House Bill 1008 with amendments. Noting the excused absence of Representative McDermott, is there any reservations? Any no votes? The measure passes.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Chair Lowen.
Thank you. Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection, same recommendation. Members, any discussion? If not, Vice Chair, please take the vote.
Okay. Chair recommends passing HB 1008 with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair vote aye. Noting that Rep. Hashem and Rep. Tokioka are excused. Any noes or reservations? Hearing none, measure passes.
Thank you very much. Moving to our final measure of this joint hearing, House Bill 1027 relating to marine life conservation districts. My recommendation is to adopt the recommended amendments from the DLNR Division of Aquatic Resources. Also adopt the recommended amendments from Ms. Lisa Bishop with Friends of Hanauma Bay, and also to adopt the recommended amendments from Mr. Denver Kuhn of the Ocean Tourism Coalition. In addition, I'd like to defect the effective date and make some technical non-substantive amendments. That's my recommendation, members, for an HD1. Any discussion? Seeing none. Vice Chair, please take the vote.
The recommendation of the chair is to pass House Bill 1027 with amendments. Noting the excused absence of Representative McDermott, is there any reservations? Any no votes? The measure passes.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Chair Lowen.
Thank you. Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection, same recommendation. Members, any discussion? If not, Vice Chair, please take the vote.
Chair recommends HB 1027 be passed with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair vote aye, noting that Rep. Hashem and Rep. Tokioka are excused. Any noes or reservations? Hearing none, measure passes.
Thank you very much to the members of Water and Land and to the members of Energy and Environmental Protection. We are now adjourned.